Good day, programmers. Today we're going to be looking at list comprehensions, still on the Learn Python programming series. Now, list comprehensions are a useful way of quickly creating lists whose contents obey a basic rule or a simple rule or structure, which is predefined by the programmer. Now, that's great. Now, why are they useful? Now, let me give you a scenario here. For example, we wanted to get a list of even numbers from 1 to 100. Okay, so we're going to declare a basic list. Say num is equal to an empty list. Now I'm going to say for I in range see 1 to 101. Now what are we going to basically do? If I modulus 2 is equal to 0, so we're just going to say num.append I. So that's great. You can come load this block of code and just print num, and if you run that code, you basically see we have numbers, even numbers from 2 to 100. Okay, what if we wanted to append the square? We're going to say I times I. That's great. Now if I run this, you'll see the square will be appended to this list. Now that's great. That is great. Okay, so now we can come down here and try out the list comprehension version. Now for list comprehension, we can basically declare a number to be num. Let me clear this out to avoid anyone getting confused. Now we'll have a simple variable num. Now we'll create a basic list. Okay, so in between this, we're going to say I for I in range 10. Okay, what does this do? It returns I for I in range 10. Now we know range 10 is going to get numbers spaced out from 0 to 9. Now that's great. So it's going to append 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 down to 9 to this basic list. So if we do a basic print num, and with F5 on that, you can see we have numbers 0 to 9. Now, I don't want to create a heavy list like this so we don't get problems. Now, this basic list, I want to append, let's say we want to get the square. That's simple. We just do a simple I times I for I in range 10. So if I run that, you basically see the square of each of them. 0 times 0 is 0, 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4, and so on. So that's basically what you're going to get. Now, there are other ways to create a list comprehension, okay? So let's say you want to get only numbers that are greater than 9 from this. That means we're going to take from 16 to 81. Now there's a basic function that a basic attribute we can add to our list comprehensions. Now we can add an if statement. Okay, if I is greater than what? 16. So this is very useful for creating a list comprehension if you actually want a basic pattern. So once I run this, you basically see our list gets reduced. Okay. Remember, we said I times I for I in range 10. Okay. So now we're going to say if I times I is greater than 16, because these are what we are looking at. So if you wanted to compare that with the basic numbers from the list, you can say if I is greater than 2, because we have numbers spaced out from 0 to 9. So if I run this, you would basically see we have a basic list which gets us from 25 down to 81. Okay, I hope no one is confused at this point. And now basically list comprehensions are very useful. You can also use this for applying maybe basic functions to your existing list. So let's say you have fruits here, and then you had a lot of fruits here. So let's say banana, and then we had maybe an orange, and you wanted to actually modify this list. Okay, so I'll say modified fruits is equal to, now I'm creating a basic list comprehension, and I'm going to say I plus, now I'm concatenating it with a string. I'll say fruit. Okay, or I'll say is a fruit. Okay, let me give a space from the start. Then I'm gonna give for I in range or for I in fruit. So in this time around, I'm not giving a range, I'm giving a pre-existing list. So I'm actually creating a list from another list. Okay, not something too exciting. So I can just come below here and I'm gonna print modified fruits. Okay, So once I run that, you basically see I have an invalid syntax for I or in fruits. Great. So you basically see banana is a fruit, orange is a fruit. You can do this to dictionaries, you can do it to tuples or whatever you want, creating your own list comprehension. Now there's a basic thing to know over the list comprehension. If you overdo this, let's say you give a very high range here on your list comprehension, is basically going to eat a lot of memory on your system and make you run into different kind of memory problems. So basically how to solve that is using generators, and I'll be covering that in my next tutorial. Now if you enjoyed this video, basically how to support this video is by liking this video and subscribing to this channel, and you can share this to anyone you think this video will be very useful to. And thanks for watching. That will be all for today's tutorial. See you guys in the next tutorial.